All right, let's talk about the Zion thing for a bit, and then we'll get to other NBA stuff. He had an injury setback, and I mean, the Athletic said he's going to be shut down for a bit. The exact quote from the Pelicans said the intensity of his training will be reduced for an extended period to help allow for his bone to heal in his foot and all that. Obviously, you feel for Zion, especially because wasn't he cleared for basketball activities or something like, I don't know, a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now at this point? And to attempt to be an optimist, whether it happens this season or not, him coming back, I do feel like there's been a good amount of, oh, he's never going to be healthy and that sort of thing. And I just don't think we should go all the way there at this moment. I mean, yeah, it certainly doesn't look great, no doubt about it. But it's not like it's impossible to overcome injury stuff. I mean, Ben Simmons broke his foot, missed his whole rookie season, and I don't think there was much else about his foot after that. Of course, Embiid missed the first 2 years of his career with foot injuries, and that was rough in the moment, but he was able to overcome that. So it is possible, and I wouldn't want to go too doom and gloom, but, you know, we all get the situation. The other thing to think about is the impending contract extension, which I'm not entertaining the whole Zion would turn it down thing. I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about more so is like, would the Pelicans consider an Embiid type of extension for Zion, where there's a million different qualifiers in there, and depending on if Zion misses a certain amount of games or whatever, then that can save money for the organization. And I don't know. I mean, that type of thing can get really complicated, but I do think we could be approaching that sort of thing. The other thing that's tough too is, the Pelicans have been kind of competitive lately. They're 6-6 in their last 12 games. Defensively, they've been way better. I'm sure giving Herb Jones nearly 30 minutes a game has something to do with that. And then between Josh Hart's weird contract, Jackson Hayes and Alexander Walker, who are nearing the tail end of their rookie contracts, and Satoransky, who's on a 1-year deal, there's some interesting decisions that can be made if they really want to make a shakeup here. I don't know if they're going to want to do that. All right, let's look at some bold predictions for the trade deadline. The Hornets, the Warriors, or the Raptors trade for either Sabonis or Miles Turner. So my gut is that the Warriors are just not going to do it, because I don't think they want to give up Jordan Poole or any of their super young dudes. And so then you think about Charlotte. So initially for me with Charlotte, I thought of Rozier, but I guess, and I was listening to Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks talk about this, it could be something around like PJ Washington. I just feel like for the Pacers, you could get better than PJ Washington if you're dealing either one of these guys. Maybe I'm just wrong there. I mean, of course, if a team is willing to put in enough draft picks, if they really want a guy, then almost any trade can happen. As for the Raptors, I mean, obviously, Siakam, Anunoby, none of those guys are moving. Could Gary Trent Jr. be a possibility there? And hey, for what it's worth, Rick Carlisle likes threes, Gary Trent shoots those. And Ben Simmons does not get traded? Sure, fine, why not? Let's check out the Giannis off the backboard pass thing. My favorite part is Bobby Portis just losing his mind. Like, what the hell is going on right now? Anyway, the Rockets' 7-game win streak is over, but let's just be happy that it happened. DiVincenzo is going to make his debut on Wednesday against the Pacers. Remember in the playoffs where it was like, sometimes the Bucks' rotation would look a little thin because like Connaughton was the only wing they were going to off the bench. And suddenly, DiVincenzo's healthy. Grayson Allen has been big for them. If Brook Lopez can come back, which it's a bit of an ask with his back injury and stuff, but if he can, the Bucks, are they better? I don't know. I mean, they did lose PJ Tucker, and he played a role, but more shooting is more shooting. LeBron at almost 37 is still being ripped for struggling when he has AD and other guys weren't this old. Is anybody ripping LeBron that much? I mean, I guess you can always find that on Twitter. That is one thing I've always found kind of funny. It's like, if you're a LeBron hater, it's like, how long have you been at it now? For 15 years? Like, eventually it's just like, bro, you've been here so long. Like, you have not won this engagement. Oh yeah, the De'Aaron Fox 2 missed free throws. Listen, man, I don't know what the Kings are going to do this year. You could probably talk me into anybody maybe being on the trade market. I've seen Kings fans want to trade Fox. But I will say, barring some miraculous turnaround of this season, something has to happen. Şengün with a post move on Bobby Portis. There's a lot here. There's pump fakes and head fakes and up and unders, and then he eventually switches hands there. I'm telling you, man, like, it's kind of pointless to get into a who's the most exciting young guy on the Rockets because they're all on the Rockets, but there's a case that Şengün's actually number one. Now we have KD's block, which then became a mid-range jumper. There's been a bit of talk, mainly on Twitter, about how the Nets are not good against the best teams in the league. I'm not that concerned because I still assume that Harden will be fine by the end of the season, but it's something that I do care about a little bit. Of course, having Kevin Durant fixes a lot of things.